A few verses from Matthew 26.
One of the 12, who was called Judas Iscariot, went to the chief priests and said, "What will you give me if I betray him to you?" They paid him 30 pieces of silver, and from that moment he began to look for an opportunity to betray him. Later, after the Passover meal, Jesus said to them, "You will all become deserters of me this night, for it is written, 'I will strike the shepherd, and the sheep of the flock will be scattered.' But after I am raised up, I will go ahead of you to Galilee." Peter said to him, "Though all become deserters because of you, I will never desert you." Jesus said to him, "Truly I tell you, this very night, before the cock crows, you will deny me 3 times. Peter said to him, "Even though I must die with you, I will not deny you." And so said all the disciples. While he was still speaking, Judas, one of the 12, arrived. With him was a large crowd with swords and clubs from the chief priests and the elders of the people. At once he came up to Jesus and said, "Greetings, Rabbi," and kissed him. Jesus said to him, "Friend, do what you are here to do." Then they came and laid hands on Jesus and arrested him. Then all the disciples deserted him and fled.
Why, Judas? Why did you do it, Judas? What drove you to this point? Were you always the bad apple in the basket of disciples? Or did something happen to change you? Were you disappointed that Jesus hadn't turned out to be the Messiah you hoped for? Disappointed that he hadn't overthrown the occupying Romans and set Israel free? Were you hoping to push him into showing his power the way you'd expected? And all for 30 pieces of silver, the price of a slave. Is that all he was worth to you? Why, Judas? But as I asked that question, I realised I could as easily ask, why Judas? In the great scheme of things, could not the same question be asked of Peter, the one who said, "I do not know him," of James and John, of Andrew, Thomas and the rest? All the disciples deserted him and fled. Why? Why did you flee? Could not one of you have stayed, remained faithful? And yet I hear your voice gently asking me, God, why, Helen? Could not you remain faithful? Why? Fill in your own name. Could you not remain faithful? Why do I, you, Peter, Judas, do what we do, say what we say? No, I've never been given money to hand Jesus over. I've never said, I don't know him. And yet, as I look back, I remember the times when I've wanted Jesus to be the kind of Messiah I want him to be, to show power my way and at the times I want. I've avoided doing what I know was the right thing because it would have cost too much. I've kept silent when I should have spoken, and spoken when I should have kept silent. I may not have said, I don't know this man, but my words or actions have given that message. Why? Because I am a frail human being, yet loved by God, held in God's mercy, forgiven.